a seat, Keshav.
Thank you, sir.
So, Keshav, you are from Fatehabad, Haryana.
Yes, sir.
You have done your BA honors in subjects of economics,
Yes, sir.
MA also international economics and macroeconomics.
Sir, I am currently pursuing masters in
You are currently pursuing
Yes.
masters. Okay. This is the first year or
in final semester, sir.
final semester? And your interests are teaching elementary economics,
Yes, sir.
jogging, extracurricular activities. Your preference is IAS, then Indian Foreign Service.
Yes, sir.
IPS is at number 5. Any special reason why you are not opting for
Sir, there
IPS?
is no particular reason for that choice. It's just because I think given my education background also, I think I can be able to utilize my skills much better in IFS or in IAS.
Okay.
So that's the reason, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Now, nowadays we are having the concept of manipulative marketing. Do you know what is manipulative marketing? Can you give some example of manipulative marketing?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware about the term, but I have a broader idea about
tell
this. Sir, it is a practice which is done by many companies and many influencers where they used to promote the products without actually using those products. And in that way, uh, sometimes it is alleged that those products do not stand up to the quality of the products, and that is somewhere we term it as a
So, can you
manipulation.
give example?
Sir, recently I heard about some tobacco
There are
companies.
many
Yes, sir.
examples which
Yes, sir.
you are using on a day to day. Shampoos,
Yes, sir.
hair fall. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then some of the the diet advertisements.
Yes, sir.
And
Definitely, sir.
they will reduce the weight. You will lose lot of fat. These are all manipulative marketing
Yes, sir.
techniques.
Definitely, sir.
Okay. So tell me, what is the concept which is called One Health concept?
So, One Health concept primarily was given by various institutions like WHO, and they have defined it as a concept where we are considering biodiversity, human health, as well as the environment at a intersection. So, we are not only talking about human body, human health, rather we are taking like pandemics and the role of nature in affecting human health, and all those concepts basically termed as One Health concept, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Now,
sir.
talking about COVID-19,
Yes, sir.
we just witnessed the shortage of oxygen, and the importance of oxygen was realized when
Yes.
people were gasping for breath
Yes,
during
sir.
COVID-19. So, this oxygen is given to us by nature free of cost.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, supposing you want to get oxygen, you have to purchase from the market, and it comes with a price.
Yes, sir.
So, if I ask you to make a guesstimate, how much oxygen in rupee terms the nature gives to every one of us if we survive up to the age of say 65 years? Any idea how much rupees of oxygen? We do not understand the importance of oxygen, but if I ask you to calculate, because with every breath of air you get oxygen inside, scientists have calculated that. What is the amount of oxygen in rupee every one of us gets from nature if we survive say up to 65 years?
Sir, I am not aware about the exact oxygen price that is available in market, and if I get those data, I can definitely.
Just take estimate.
Sorry, sir, I won't be able to take a guess.
It's 5.5 crores of rupees.
Thank-
5.5 crore rupees.
Thank you, sir.
Now, transportation and thermal power generation are the biggest pollution, agencies or industries.
Yes, sir.
So, in order to bring down pollution, then you have to control the transportation, move into different technologies, and similarly in the power generation also. Now, where do you see the role of the electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles to achieve net zero target by 2070?
Sir, the potential is quite promising from my perspective. Given our energy demand is going to peak up during 2070, 2050, various estimates are suggesting that. So I think we need a green transition from thermal based energy to electric energy from renewable sources. And uh, electric vehicles are currently we are sourcing it from thermal electricity. So we need to transition it. The source should be green in case of electric vehicles, and that would be more sustainable in the long run. Uh, Sir, secondly, given the conditions right now that some EV vehicles are getting fires and all those things, that definitely has a negative impact on the kind of consumer confidence. So we need to keep this in check by infusing confidence into the people to make it their first choice as far as their consumption of electricity is concerned.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, LPG reforms were brought about in 1971 or
Yes,
so
sir.
by PV Narasimha Rao. Do you think we should have brought in these reforms even earlier to that, say around 1950 or so, and we would have progressed much more in that direction?
Sir, definitely the reforms could have been taken in around 1970s or 1980s, but not very just after independence. We had our own reasons, like we had the issue of poverty. The state welfare state has to be the forefront. The role of welfare state has to be there, and in that time, sir, resources was also a major reason due to which the public sector has to take the charge. But if we say that reforms could have been earlier, I would say 1980s was a very good period where we could have transitioned to LPG reforms, since we have seen that many policies were liberalized, like industrial policy in 1980, and many other reforms were open. So we could have transitioned a way earlier for that.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
You have participated in one of the ASER surveys.
Yes, sir.
This is in education.
Yes, sir.
Now, several of these ASER reports and other reports, they suggest that the learning outcomes in the primary level in the government schools, especially,
Yes,
are
sir.
very, very poor. You must be aware of it.
Yes, sir.
Now, what will you suggest to improve these learning outcomes, especially in subjects like English language or any language and maths?
So definitely learning outcomes is a major issue, and recently after COVID we have seen that these have also deteriorated much further now. As far as government school is concerned, sir, my steps and my recommendations would be,
But after COVID, has any other such report has been framed or not?
sir, Acer has come up with 2021 report in which the data for 2020 has been analyzed. In that period, the lockdowns were undergone.
Was there?
So it was a mobile-based survey, and in that the data does not suggest that the enrollment has affected, but definitely learning outcomes have definitely deteriorated because students.
So
Yes,
how to improve?
sir, my steps would be twofold. First would be to analyze the learning level of the students. So first we have to measure the learning level of the student irrespective of the class level, so that we can do interventions appropriately. Second would be, sir, to provide better
So
teacher
that
training.
measure means you will take some kind of exam.
Sir, it can be a parameters could be established, like a kind of toolbox can be established where learning levels can be made, like for class this kind of text could be read by the students, and all those.
It is a kind of a test.
Yes, sir. That can be a dialogue kind of thing rather than a monologue, so that teachers can also understand their students how they are performing on these standards. So, on the basis of learning levels, the interventions could be done. Like we can go for clubbing the students who are having one level of learning and making them making.
Schools do not generally do not have so many teachers, so much of infrastructure that you can segregate students on learning outcome basis. There is not even enough classrooms
Yes, sir.
to accommodate class 1 to class 5. Very often the children of various classes sit together,
Yes.
and very often they are taught by the same teacher.
Mhm. Sir, I definitely agree that this is a major issue, and this is across all the schools in government school. But some interventions like collaborating with NGOs and collaborating with communities and the people who want to volunteer in teaching can be looked into, so that these can be interventions can be done, so that teacher.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's come to the next question.
Yes, sir.
What do you understand from preventive detention? What is it?
Sir, it's a concept where police administration or law enforcement authorities tend to arrest the people before on the suspicion of that they would lead to some crime in the future, that they in order to prevent crime, to have a precautionary approach, they tend to arrest the
Under
person
what
concerned.
laws such arrests are normally made?
uh, Sir, there are laws Sir, I'm not exactly aware about the law which specifically administers it.
Examples?
Like NIA Act also provides preventive detention, and
NIA Act.
yes, sir.
Uh,
There are provisions like the authorities can go for preventive detention of the
Example?
sir, in cases of counter-terrorism and terrorism operations, I have read this, but I will read more about it, sir. Definitely, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Keshav, now what do you understand by the invisible hand?
Sir, it's a concept which is used in respect of free market economy.
What is this? The invisible hand. First, tell me what it is.
Sir, it is the invisible hand, the market mechanism, open free market
That is
mechanism.
fine. Anything else? Does it mean anything else to you?
Sir, as far as my reading is concerned, sir, it is given by Adam Smith in his book, The Wealth of
The
Nations.
name of the book is The Invisible Hand.
Yes.
Yeah, this is because you are a student of economics.
Okay.
So it
Sir,
is the
I
name
have-
of his book that is The Invisible Hand.
Okay.
What was his other book? Or other article rather. It was not a book in the beginning.
Okay.
It was more an article.
Adam
which-
Smith's
Yeah,
concept.
which is short name is Wealth of Nations.
Yes, sir.
What is the full name of that article?
The wealth of nation, interest, money, and
No.
sorry, sir.
Okay. Now tell me something about Keynesian economics.
Yes, sir.
What is the fundamentals of Keynesian economics?
So the fundamental idea is that the government has to come into the situation where market failures are there. So a free hand mechanism does not lead to a full equilibrium situation always, and government has to intervene through government expenditure, purchases, as to correct the market failures. Like for example, we see market failures in concept
So he
of
believed that perfect competition doesn't exist anywhere.
no, sir, it doesn't exist in reality, sir.
That's what he said.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, consumption and investment,
Yes.
these are contradictory. If you are consuming, you are contributing to the growth of the economy. If you are saving, then you are not contributing. But saving is very important for investment. So how do you reconcile the two?
Sir,
Give me an economics answer, not a layman's answer.
Sir, I would say investment is important for long run growth, while consumption may increase the short term growth. So, if the money is saved, it would be invested in capital goods that would be definitely give return in the longer run. So, investment do play a role in the growth prospect, but that takes
Without
some time.
investment, there is no production.
Yes, sir.
They don't do play a role. They are essential for economic growth.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, consumption is also essential. Without consumption, you cannot have, production at all.
Yes, sir.
So, how do you resolve this contradiction?
Sir,
Okay, let us move to some other subject.
yes, sir.
Now, there are two groupings in the world, G7 and G20. In your view, which is the relevant one, or what is the relative strength of the two?
Sir, I think G20 is much more representative of the prevailing world situation, world global order. While G7 is more of a concentrated group of the economies who have done industrially well.
Which are the members in G7 now?
So we have P5 nations, and along with it, Russia is there. UK.
Is Russia
US.
a part of G7?
No, sir, Russia is not a part. It was earlier a part of G7.
That was G8.
Yes, sir, that was G8, and it was removed after the
But
crisis.
what is
of,
G7? Which are the countries?
So to name a few of them, like US is there, UK, and we have China is there, and
Is China there in G7? I think you should read a little bit more about it. In
Sir, I will-
G20,
yes, sir.
what is the percentage of global GDP represented by G20 countries today?
No, sir, I don't
You
know.
no idea?
No, sir.
Tell me what was the total GDP of the world in 1950, and where does it stand today?
Sir, today it is around $90 trillion, but I am not aware about the 1950, sir.
$90 trillion in nominal terms, yes, and
Yes.
in PPP terms.
Sir, no, I have not updated
idea.
on that.
And what is India's GDP in nominal and PPP terms?
Sir, in nominal terms, it is around $2.7 trillion as of 2021. And
They said it's $3.3 trillion. This is the statistics.
sir,
There's a lot of difference between 2.7 and 3.3.
yes, sir, there is a lot of difference, sir. Sir, I will update myself on this, sir.
And what is the PPP terms GDP?
No idea, sir.
No idea.
No, sir.
Okay, so I think student of economics.
Yes, sir, I will definitely.
Thank
Sir.
you, Keshav.
Yes.
Keshav, tell us what are the government functionaries in a district?
In a district. Right. Sir, there is a district development officer.
District Development Officer.
Yes, sir. There is Tehsildar and Patwari is there, sir.
District level, tell us only district level.
Sir, STM is there, sir. And
District level, SDM is not district level.
sorry, sir, I have to look.
Just take few seconds and then come out. You will definitely be able to answer it.
So Panchayat officers are there. Panchayat secretary is there.
Panchayat Secretary, how Panchayat Secretary would be at district level?
These are the village level.
Village level.
Think about the most crucial officer at the district level. The one which you are aspiring to be ultimate.
Yes, sir. DM, sir. District collector.
Yeah, district collector is one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I
Then?
forgot it.
Then who else?
Sir, no
Then you have
particular name
just
coming to my mind.
study actually. There are many.
Yes,
Now you were mentioning about that the preventive detention can be when there is a suspicion of that somebody is committing the crime.
Yes, sir.
I give you an example. Suppose you learn, you are the authority. You learn actually that some theft is going to happen. So can that person who is about to commit theft can be detained under the preventive detention?
Sir, I really do not know the exact details of the criteria for preventive detention. But theft can be one of the grounds, sir. If the commodity or the thing in play to be there is something very much valuable, sir. So
If it is valuable
yes,
thing,
sir.
then he can be detained under preventive
Yes,
detention.
sir. I think so.
No, I think you study more on the preventive detention
How
aspect.
would you know that they are going to steal something valuable?
There are four parameters.
Okay, sir.
So you study about that.
Definitely.
Security of state, public order,
Mhm.
supply of essential services. Like so. Now tell us, in Russia, they are going to celebrate Victory Day on 9th. So, I mean, how you justify it, or how you can say that Russia has won the war and they are going to celebrate it? What can be the reason for this Victory Day?
Sir, Russia celebrated its
No, going to celebrate, not
Sir,
celebrated. 9th.
Okay. Sir, I need to read, sir, about the reason, sir.
Okay. Now, Haryana is a developed state,
Yes, sir.
and there is a lot of Babas in Haryana.
Mhm.
So, can you name some of the Babas?
Sir, there is one Ram Rahim in Sirsa, sir. And sir, apart from that, sir,
No idea.
no idea.
So, Ram Rahim is known for what?
Sir, he's a kind of, he was known for a spiritual kind of thing. Like he used to set up the deras in the
What is the name of the dera?
Dera Sacha Soda, sir. Yes, sir.
What do they do?
Sir, sir, it was a kind of teacher, and
Teacher.
that teachings were given by the person.
What are the activities of these deras?
Sir, they are involved in some social activities also, sir, like blood donation camps and plantation and all those things also, sir. But there is also the sorry, sir, I need to read about it.
This is a good work actually. Why they should be detained, arrested? Why they should be?
Sir, there are
Right.
issues. There are some issues like of transparencies there, sir. They do not
Issue
disclose
of transparency means what?
Sir, they do not disclose the amount of donations that they get from the people.
That was the reason.
Sir, it is one of the reasons, sir. And apart from that, sir, the activities like which are criminal, like the charges of rape against them, that is also one of the most important reasons, sir, due to which the issue was there.
But they have large following.
Yes, sir. Still, sir, there is a large following of them, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Keshav,
yes, ma'am.
we have double incomes and no kids. The fertility rate, overall fertility rate in India has been decreasing. What is the reason? What could be the 1, 2, 3 reasons for this? And these figures, 2.2 to reduced to 2, is from the National Family Health Service.
Ma'am, 3 reasons could be first is increasing level of education among the women. We are seeing that there is a positive correlation between fall in total fertility rate and women education level. That is one of the reason. Second, the increasing use of contraceptives, that is also been there, due to which the total fertility rate has been decreasing. And third is, ma'am, uh, due to increase in the health infrastructure, the institutional deliveries are increasing, and those grey deliveries are decreasing. So that is also one of the reasons due to which the women are not supposed to uh, go for multiple pregnancies, and that is also one of the reasons.
No, if you say pregnancies are increasing, I'm only talking of the overall. Then how are they decreasing?
Sorry, ma'am, I would like to
That is
take
contradictory.
Yes, ma'am.
And double income, both the partners are earning and no kids.
Ma'am, that is because the kind of economic system the today families are transitioning into, like they do not get time for the students, for the kids. That is one of the reason due to increase in the nuclearization of families. That is also putting pressure on the parents to not go for uh, children. That is one of the reason, ma'am.
Only because of their jobs, they don't have time for the kids.
Ma'am, second, cost of living has also increased in cities. That is also one of the reason because people are.
So in villages, they are having.
Sorry, ma'am.
In villages, this problem is not there because only the cost of living in cities is getting higher.
Ma'am, in villages, there is not that much trend as far as urban areas are concerned.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In view of the controversial role of WHO vis-a-vis the Wuhan virus and the UN role not being able to negotiate peace between Ukraine and Russia, do you think the relevance of the whole world system has finished or is decreased drastically? And what needs to be done?
Ma'am, definitely the role has been challenged right now. It is a testing time for multilateral institutions like UN. But I won't say that the relevance has reduced to that an extent that we can ignore these institutions. They have a very important role when it comes to establishing peace in the global world order. Uh, uh, since these provide a platform for multiple countries to have discussion debates about the issues and their concerns are being highlighted. So I think, ma'am, these have to be reformed further rather than ignoring their relevance.
Rather than disbanded.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now which currency note has Rani Ka Vav? On one side you have father of the nation. On the other side, which currency note has Rani Ka Vav?
No, ma'am, I don't know.
Which one has the Sanchi Stupa?
No, ma'am.
Which one has the Ellora Caves?
No, ma'am.
Just look at your notes. This
Yes, ma'am.
e-currency business is good, but
Yes,
do
ma'am.
look at your.
Definitely.
Now, in Haryana, you have a skewed sex ratio. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What could be done? You are tasked with to improve this fall. What would you do?
Ma'am, first would be to implement the laws like PCP and DT Act, which allows that no abortion and sorry, no s- it doesn't allow the ultrasound and all those things to happen, and that is one of the reason due to which we have witnessed that due to no better implementation of that law, this female feticide issue came up, and due to which the sex ratio was deteriorated. So my first priority would be to implement it to a very strictly.
Sex detection cannot be done.
Yes, ma'am. That would be the my first priority. Second would be a community awareness campaigns should be there under Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign that is being run, and it could be promoted further by uh, by by involving local panchayats proactively on this issue. Uh, Sir, third, ma'am, I believe there is a issue of uh, sorry, ma'am. These
That
efforts.
is it.
Yes, ma'am.
So, skewed sex ratio is a huge challenge in Haryana,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
we don't have any counter measures.
Ma'am, we have to increase the awareness first among the people, and that can be through the education. Since we are seeing that there are many changes that are occurring in a positive manner, many families are understanding the relevance of and and the issue that they had earlier in the past. That is being realized by the families now. Uh,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so Keshav, we will take you back to the waiting room for a few minutes. We'll bring you back for giving the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Have a seat, Keshav.
Thank you, sir.
Keshav, when is your interview fixed at the UPSC?
Sir, 23rd of May.
Okay, so okay, you have a lot of time. It's almost in the last week.
Yes.
So this is the first time you'll be appearing at the interview,
Yes. Sir.
at the CSE interview. Okay. This is the first mock you are attending, or there were earlier mocks also?
Sir, it's third mock. Sir.
Third mock. And how many more mocks are you going to attend after this?
Sir, maybe 3 mocks.
3 more mocks.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, Keshav, your own assessment of your performance at this mock.
Sir, I think I faltered on many basic questions like related to district and the functionaries and all. I have to brush up those things. And there were many economy facts also which I have to update myself. I was not sure about the exact figure, so I did not answer it. And there were many laws like preventive detention and all those things. I need to read about many laws. And Haryana is also, sir, I have to work on the women issues. And there are many basics economics like Adam Smith and all the works. I have to brush up those optional knowledge. And international relations also, sir, I have to be more analytical in my approach in giving arguments. And apart from that, sir, yes, sir, it is my assessment that I could work better on these areas.
Okay. So Keshav, you have yourself analyzed your performance, but everything is doable.
Yes.
And you have a lot of time.
Yes, sir.
You can really work on that and come out with very good marks.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Because otherwise your communication skills are fine, articulation is good,
Okay.
English, structuring of sentences, use of proper words, that is all there.
Okay, sir.
So they are all in your favor, and your attitude is positive. One can see that you were positive in giving out the answers, and wherever you felt that the answer you were not knowing, so you were trying to express your inability to that, which is also fine. Your other strengths also, some of them I would like to mention, that one could see that you were mentally alert, but in giving out the answers, what happened that sometime it gave an impression, and take it in a positive way, that you were going in a roundabout manner, you see, so beating about the bush. So what happens is that you should explain an answer with minimum words,
Okay.
so that you can take more questions then. If it goes in a roundabout manner and ultimately you do not reach the where you are expected to reach, then it unnecessarily that time is wasted. So try to be crisp, to the point, understand the question first, then come out with the answer. Okay. That will be possible only if you are not all of a sudden jumping to the answer. You think about it, understand the pros and the cons of the question, and then come out with a well balanced answer. And always remember that brevity is the wit. You don't have to give very long answers, and you just be to the point. Because if you venture into unknown trajectory or territory, unnecessarily you'll be caught into things which you may ultimately be problematic for you.
Definitely, sir.
So less is more. That is the principle you should follow.
Sir.
Coming to first of all your Haryana and Fatehabad.
Yes,
Now, when you were asked about Babas, you were not knowing that. So Rampal, Rahim. So there are many. Haryana has got this, in spite of having such a progressive outlook in many respects, agriculture, infrastructure, but it suffers from many negative factors also. So one is the skewed sex ratio.
Yes,
The
sir.
other is the atrocities on the scheduled castes, which is there. Then there are issues of Babas, and similarly, the status of women in the Khap Panchayat. All these things are negative things.
Yes,
So you should know the strengths as well as weaknesses of Haryana. Study particularly because it's an agrarian state, and it contributes to the national pool of food grains also in a big way.
Yes,
So you should know the agricultural practices, the source of irrigation, which are the canals flowing through Haryana, okay, and also understand about SYL canal, the Chandigarh issue,
Yes, sir.
the Gulli Danda. I do not know whether you are aware about that. The weeds which have come to be grown as a result of the wheat paddy rotation. That is creating huge problem in Haryana.
Mhm.
Then the
Stubble burning.
60 days paddy, which has been banned through a legislation because they consume huge amount of water. So therefore, the irrigation potential, the percentage of underground water, what is the canal irrigation, what is the power situation, crops, MSP, all these things connected with agriculture.
Yes, sir.
Then coming to the industry. So the Gurgaon, Faridabad, Sonipat, they are the industrial hubs, and practically every multinational corporation has got its offices in Gurgaon.
Yes, sir.
So the importance of these three NCR towns you should know very well. And then coming to the certain other aspects of Haryana, for example, the legislation which was brought in recently,
Reservation, job
reservation.
reservation.
So understand that also. So then if you want to sell Haryana to a foreign investor, what are the things which you are going to tell to him?
Okay.
So it can be the tax haven, the benefits, the policy, industrial policy, and so on, to encourage industries coming into here. Labor unrest is minimum, airport, vicinity to the airport, a very good power supply situation, roads, and so on. So that again is an area. Then coming to some other aspects, that is economics. So economics is your core area where you have to prepare very well. So some of the questions which were asked to you, for example, Adam Smith's book, and then certain basic issues about economics. So prepare them slightly more, because lot many things will be expected out of you, and about macroeconomics and also international economics.
Yes, sir.
So prepare that well.
Definitely.
Do a brush up of the entire thing. And then extracurricular activities and hobbies, that again is an area where you have to teaching elementary economics. So again, economics is figuring in 3 places in your DAF.
Yes,
So
sir.
naturally, so understand about the Raghuram Rajan's policies, and then the next, the RBI governor, and so on, repo rate, effect of repo rate recently,
Yes,
what it will have on the consumer, what it will have on the industry, and so on.
sir.
Then go to the website of Niti Aayog, RBI, some of the important website, economic affairs, to understand what are the things. Then public policies, understand the public policies for women, for children, for senior citizens, for scheduled caste, for scheduled tribes, and the disabled people. So all these public policies. Also understand the laws.
Yes, sir.
These two are very major areas which can come, and therefore you should understand all the laws and all the public policy. Also understand the different parts of constitution. So fundamental rights, fundamental duties, preamble, and directive principles, and impeachment, and writ, and article 311, 312, all India services, everything about in the constitution, read it. How the president is elected, the electoral college. In the near future we will have a presidential election, whether presidential form of government is good for this country or the parliamentary form, simultaneously holding of elections, recall of public representatives, e-voting, state funding of elections. So read through the RP Act very carefully, the two RP Acts which are there, the Constitution and Criminal Procedure Code. Now the question was asked about your district officers. Now that was something, instantly you should have talked about collector. So
Sir,
collector,
I forgot to mention.
how does it
Yes, sir.
happen?
So
you are
I
aspiring to be a civil servant, and
Yes,
the
sir.
first name which comes, in
District
fact, that is why
Collector, sir.
people say that there are 3 people who actually bring about a change in the country, and that is called PM, CM, and DM. So the you are aspiring to become a DM.
Yes, sir.
So how could you forget that thing? So the district magistrate is the first officer, and the second, of course, superintendent of police, district agriculture officer, divisional forest officer, and there are plethora of officers.
Yes,
You started mixing up with the village level. So you started talking about the gram sachivs and other things. So understand that there is a district level, and then there is 3 other levels which are generally called as the grassroots institution of Panchayati Raj. So the Zilla Parishad, the Panchayat Samiti, and the Panchayat, Gram Panchayat. Who are the official actors? Who are the unofficial actors? Sarpanch, Chairman Panchayat Samiti, and Chairman Zilla Parishad are the unofficial actors. The official actors is the Gram Sachiv, okay, and then you have a Panchayat Samiti BDPO, Block Development Officer, and a CEO of Zilla Parishad.
Yes, sir.
Also understand which are the village level the institutions and the functionaries. Okay. Also understand the roles of collector. So that you should go very well with the roles of collector. One is the revenue administration, other is the criminal
Law and order.
administration, law and order. Third is the election. Fourth is the natural calamities, the disaster management, and fifth is the developmental role or coordination role. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
And then also go into the India and its neighbors, foreign policy. So many questions were asked regarding G7, G8, G20. Now you have to understand them very well, and certain things about economics were also principles were also asked. Consumption and investment contradictory, how do they reconcile? And then important issues like preventive detention. What is preventive detention? You probably were not able to understand that. So what is a preventive detention? So go into that preventive detention. What exactly is the preventive detention? And current affairs, for example, yesterday itself, in the last few days, Prime Minister's visit to European
Yes, sir.
countries, the arrest of a person from Delhi by the Punjab police, yesterday it was in the news.
Yes, sir.
WHO's assessment of the deaths during COVID-19. These are all very issues which are the buzzwords.
Yes.
So therefore these are the areas which you should study. The newspaper you should study till the moment you are about to enter the room. And Russia Victory Day, Russia Ukraine conflict, and these are some of the things. Then the double income, no kids, the concept of DINGs, the fertility rates going down in India. And then about the currency notes, all parts of general knowledge. And besides that, the economic principles and the international relations, you must prepare very well. And as I said, India and its neighbors, and the fallout of Russia-Ukraine on India and other countries, situation in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and so on. The role of United Nations institutions.
Yes, sir.
So that's about it. But the most important core area is your economics. So you must understand certain schemes and programs which have been brought by this government.
Yes.
So it can be Startup India and Stand Up India and PLI scheme. All these things are to give impetus to two concepts. One is self-reliance, Atmanirbharta, and second is increase the share of manufacturing sector.
Yes, sir.
So these are some of the things which you should. Do you have any questions to ask? The GDP and the world GDP figures, these are all things which are, you have to learn by heart. Economics is a science,
Yes, sir.
and which has to be explained through facts and figures. It is not a abstract thing.
Yes.
So therefore you should be fully prepared with the facts and figures. Okay, you can do very well. You have all the good communication skills. Knowledge part, prepare slightly more, and you have the time on your side. You can do that. It is doable, and definitely we will like to see you become a civil servant. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to ask two things, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, first is about my delivery, sir. Is it like I am
The only thing
stumbling
which
on
as I said, make short sentences, short answers.
Okay.
The delivery as such, communication, articulation skills are there.
Okay.
Your choice of words is, but it tend to become very long sometimes. So by the time you reach the end of your answer, the emphasis gets lost. And ultimately also sometimes you are not able to reach to the focal point. So first of all, when a question is asked, think about it, prepare the answer, take the help of a piece of paper which is lying in front of you. You can jot down your thoughts. There will be always a piece of paper and pencil in front of you on your table.
Okay.
So you can write down the thoughts and then come out with the answer. And the answer should be such that you should prioritize them. So if there are 2-3 parts to the answer, bring that part which is most important. In all probability, the panelist will move to the next question the moment he has heard the most important part of the answer. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Anything else you wanted to ask?
Yes, sir. The confidence level, sir, is it looking like very low, or is it I have to boost it up?
It's absolutely fine. Only thing is that you keep your energy level high and also modulation in the voice. That's about it. Your dress sense, everything is fine, and everything is fine except that you have to be, crisp in your answers, so that you can take as many questions as possible.
Okay, sir.
20 minutes is your maximum time, 20-25 minutes. So
Okay.
try to take at least 10 questions in that, because every question will probably require 2 to 3 minutes.
You
So-
see, you have done positively. Your academic record is good. You have come in the first chance.
Yes,
It is already on the positive side. But your depth of knowledge needs little improvement.
yes, sir. Definitely. I
More
will
on
work
economics,
these
I think.
areas.
More on economics.
Be optimistic,
Yes, sir.
very positive. You can do that.
Okay.
Everything is doable.
Thank you, sir.
You just have to have that positivity in you.
Okay.
And you have that personality, you have outer appearance, demeanor, everything is fine. So only thing is slightly more knowledge and depth.
Thank you, sir.
All the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.